Joining me now is Misty Urbatsch. She is the president and CEO of Core Nickel. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, Mark. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So a brand new company spun out of Canalaska Uranium in November. You go public. And so you've got this fair-sized land package on the Thompson Nickel Belt in Manitoba, including the Meld deposit. So can you kind of give us a little snapshot of the company?
Sure, yeah. We spun out of Canalaska in November of last year. Canalaska built this great land portfolio in the Thompson Nickel Belt when no one was really looking for properties in the Thompson Nickel Belt. And so they thought, let's spin this out into a nickel company. And we got 5 great properties up in the Thompson Nickel Belt. We kind of have 2 separate land packages, one up in North Thompson near Thompson, the Thompson mine, about 20 kilometers away from Thompson. And then we have a south land package that sort of straddles the Bucko mine and mill there. So we're strategically located near infrastructure, mills, and mines. The properties themselves have great stratigraphy, the right stratigraphy that hosts the Thompson nickel deposit and our Meld deposit as well. Lots of great geology for us to explore on. And the assets themselves, they have been historically worked in the 60s, 70s, mostly by Valet and Falconbridge. And so lots of older data there. We're digging through paper copies of logs and updating and digitizing the data.
Yep.
And so there's a lot of locked up value there. You know, it's easy to click a button and download data these days, and a lot of folks are really used to that. So we've actually been able to snatch up these really good projects that have great stratigraphy and are really trying to unlock some value in some assets that people didn't really want to touch because it's really hard to get the data, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to take that historical data, combine it with new data. You've got a lot of drill-ready targets.
Yeah.
So what are the immediate plans there?
Yeah, so we have some drill-ready targets on our South Thompson projects called Halfway and Resting. So the Halfway project, Halfway and Resting both were sort of worked by Canalaska before the spin-out. What our parent company did was they did some geophysics on the properties and really prepped them so when the CNCO moved out, we were ready to go and drill essentially so we could be successful. We've only spun out about 2 months ago, and we're going to go do a drill program here in Q1, probably March timeline, and we'll be able to drill nickel follow-up targets on our Halfway and Resting properties and just hit the ground running with an exploration project. So
Sounds good. Now, on the personal side, you've been in the business for about 15 years or so. You're a professional geoscientist, MBA. So how did you get to this position, and what do you bring to the table, do you think?
Yeah. So I worked for a major uranium company called CNCO for 15 years.
CNCO?
Yeah.
I think we've heard of that.
It's a major uranium. So I'm a professional geologist. I started my career with CNCO, working for them in Australia. So I was exploring around Australia, the northern part of Australia, for unconformity-style uranium deposits. The uranium market kind of hit the tank, so we got rid of those Australian projects, and I relocated back to Canada and started exploring near the McArthur River mine, all the big uranium mines up in the Athabasca Basin. Then I decided to do an MBA because uranium was still not hot, and I was like, well, maybe I need to try something a little bit different. So I did an MBA, and shortly after I finished my MBA, I moved into CNCO's marketing department, and I did marketing, uranium sales, and trading. So got like the business aspect sort of to round off my experience. And so, Corey from Canalaska approached me about the CEO role, and I was kind of like, could I be a CEO? I don't know. And also nickel's a bit different, right? Yeah. So when I really sat back and looked at it from a lens of, could I do this job? Different commodity. I've got 15 years in uranium. But really, when you work for a major company like CNCO, you really learn how to be a good geologist and learn a good explorer, not just for uranium. And so I think I bring a really good lens to the table where I'm a good explorer. And also I'm an extreme extrovert. I love chatting, and marketing is totally my gig. And I really am passionate about the projects that we have, and I'm super excited to, sell our company and our assets.
I would have thought you were shy and retiring, but no, I guess I mixed that up. So let's talk about nickel. We talked off air yesterday about how it's kind of at low ebb right now, but we know it's needed in the world as we electrify over the next many years. So take that backdrop and combine it with the opportunity at Core Nickel, and how does it look for the company, and what should investors know?
Right. So as you know, we're a junior nickel explorer, and the nickel market right now is more people are looking at it from a short-term perspective. You know, it's at an all-time low. I think it's $17.50 a pound. But really, the nickel story is in the long-term market. So when you look at the long-term market itself, you know, we need more nickel for EV batteries. We need more nickel for battery storage to electrify our grids. And so for the future, we definitely need to think about the long term rather than the short term. And so that's where core nickel comes in. We're a junior explorer, so you got to think about, you know, if we need some time to develop our assets, but when the market's ready and needs a nickel asset, then we're there to supply.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, great meeting you and finding out about the company. We'll do it again.
Yeah, that sounds great, Mark. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome. Misty Urbatsch, and she is the CEO over at Core Nickel.